Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's Mr.BuyTheDip back here with another video. I want to talk to you guys about AMD, S&P 500, and what these companies and what this ETF did last week. If we look at AMD in specific, up almost 10%, just exactly where we needed to be. We broke the 140 level very comfortably. Okay, I thought this was a level that is going to take a little bit more time, but it all happened last week, and I'm up currently 19%. I want to see 22 to 25%. Up on the stock, but I think towards the end of the year we can run up and end up on a positive note. All right, I have high speculations for the stock. We need to be at least 150 for for us to be considered in that positive zone. 150, 155, 163, 160, right? So in order to hit those marks, let me tell you guys something. We need to be able to stand up and really lock in this next week, because guess what? We are heading into July, and new month means new levels. New month means, new zones that we're going to look at. June was a month of, a month of success. This is where the money's made. This is where your money back in April, back in May was put to work. Let me show y'all the S&P 500 in April, okay? So if I look at this, April 7th, 504. All right, if you would have just bought down here, around here, let's say you bought in April 539, and you just bought this right here, you would have took 539 all the way to $606. That is a good amount of change back on your money within a little bit over 2 months. All right, now when we look at this, what is the one thing that comes to our head? Okay, the one thing that comes to my head is, market changes very quickly. 2 months is nothing. This is 8 weeks. Okay, 2 months flies by when you're working, when you got family, when you got kids. 2 months flies by. And just like your bills, okay, your bills are going to come through. Money's going to fly out. There's going to be outflow of cash. Okay, increasingly happen. Outflow is basically money coming in into your account, and it's going out to pay your bills. Okay, if you would have set aside a little bit of that money to invest, instead of that money doing nothing, it would have been grown to 5-6%. That could have been 1,000. That could have been, I don't know, that could have been 3,000, 4,000, 500, whatever you could have afforded, right? That money would have been growing instead of, a bill that would have just been paid and then you're losing money. As simple as that. Now, I want you guys to also realize there's a risk we take, because if you would have bought at the wrong time, we were going to fall down below to support zones that we were very nervous about. All right. So let's be very cautious of earnings for AMD. This next month, we have about one more month. Exactly from today, we have another month. July 29th, ticker symbol AMD, semiconductor/tech industry. The AI chip demand is very important. Okay, so when we look at this stock is running up, and when these type of stocks run up, they don't have a certain level that they can't break. And if we have people that are just buying in and settling that AMD is that stock that can compete with Nvidia, where's the price going to go? I see this going back up to 170, 190, 200. Okay, when we see this is hype. Okay, this is people thinking, oh my God, this is the future. Buy the stock now. Keep buying it. Pump it up, pump it up, pump it up. This is correction. All right. I bought right here. I want y'all to see where I entered the stock, about 119. Okay. And since then, I've been very patient with AMD. It's been about 6 months since I've had money invested in this, and I've grown it little by little by little, whatever I could afford to grow. But I've really seen certain price points reached and certain price points be broken. For instance, this level of 90, about 98, 96 was broken, and we go all the way down to 83. Okay, everything was down in April. It was tariff news, different competitors from China. It was things all over the world. Sometimes you got war tensions, right? That drives stock prices down. But if you look, we have another correction. People panic, right? People realize that they were wrong, right? First of all, this is uncertainty. They're not certain what the real value of AMD is right here. So they're going to keep buying and buying and buying because they think this stock is like a $300 stock. No, it's not, right? Nvidia, sure. When we had that run up 2024, 2023, whatever, 2023 to 2024 for Nvidia, that was deserved. But AMD shouldn't have been this high. Okay, this should have been down to 140, 130, right? Then we have a big correction comes down here. Then we have people buying again because they see the impact of their chips, because they see they see the CEO in these meetings. They see how much revenue, they see how much EPS, how they're beating earnings, how they're constantly growing, and they see the cash flow this company has. Okay, this is next level stuff. I'm going to narrow down cash flow, basically how much money they're generating. Okay, so when people see that, that's why earning reports are very important. Earning reports are basically on July 29th. What's going to happen? AMD is going to sit in a conference call and talk about their business, talk about how much money they've made on a quarterly basis. Okay, 12 divided by 4. Okay, there are 4 earnings every year for whatever stock. Okay, and they're required to do those earnings reports, and those 4 quarters are very, very, very important. I want y'all to realize that this is where a lot of investors take position on their stock, or they pull out from their stock. This is where stocks drop or stocks literally explode up. So if AMD beats earnings again, what's going to happen? I see this going to 150, 155, and that's what the stock needs now, because we have already seen this level at 146 already been broken. I was aiming for 146 to 150 by July 29th. But let's say tariff news goes as planned, okay? Because July 29, so section 2 of the video is basically discussing the tariff development. So US is still finalizing new tariffs on imports. So this will include Chinese electronics, raw materials, and it will include consumer tech manufacturing and semiconductors. So this tariff news on July 9th will have a big impact on AMD. But how can we recover if this July 9th news doesn't go as planned? We have AMD earnings. So worst case scenario, tariff news comes out and people are unsure, uncertain, and we go into a whole situation of panic mode. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna buy, and I'm gonna buy at these levels right here. I'm gonna buy at 140, I'm gonna buy at 138, and if we dip down, I'll buy a little bit more. All right, so basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna load the stock up and bet on earnings then to perform. So if my average cost can go from 120 to, let's say, 125, I'll take that, because I'm gonna take 125 to 150 to 152, get $25 additional on my shares and sell at that price point. Let me know if this makes sense. So I'm taking 2 risks this next month. That's why this next month is very important. If you own AMD, if you own Nvidia, it is very important, because July 9th, US is going to finalize some of these tariff news. They're going to either make the call and be like, okay, we're going to let go of tariffs. They can extend the pause even longer, or they can say, oh, tariffs are going back up. And that news is going to affect this market very, very much. That is why I own one semiconductor stock instead of 2. So overall, my risk is balanced. There's a reason why I sold Nvidia. Y'all need to realize why I sold Nvidia. I sold Nvidia, I think it's probably been a month. So I sold Nvidia up here, and I haven't touched it since May. And it's ran up. Yeah, I'm sure it's ran up. I would have been more money. But guess what? I want to load AMD because I can see AMD going to 170 by the end of 2025. I can see AMD going to 165 just if they beat earnings and they perform. Okay, so if they can close down on Q4 with the nice earnings, AMD is going to be back up at 170, 175, and that is where I take the profits. Okay, so be very, very precise with what you're doing this next month. This next month is the month where the money is made or is totally shattered. All the money you've tried to make and accumulate April and around the month of May, wherever everything was knocked down. For example, let's see April 7th again right here, $94 on Nvidia, right? All that money that you've been trying to make and all the money you put in, that can be shattered next month if the tariff news is not where it's supposed to be and people are uncertain and they're unsure. So really make sure you have your goal set aside. I'm going to hold AMD till July 9th. I'm not selling this no time soon. But here's the thing. If they say some that's going to shake up the market and we drop down 5-6%, cool, I'm going to buy again. And I'm going to hold it till earnings. If earnings are good, guess what's going to happen? We go up, I take the profit. If earning goes bad, we go down, will hold for longer. As simple as that. And while that is happening, I might even enter Nvidia, because guess what I did with the money I sold in Nvidia? As y'all can see, $421 was sold in Nvidia. I have about more than half of that money sitting, cash value, just sitting ready to enter back in Nvidia. This is what a smart investor does, and this is how people move precisely in the markets to make sure they make their moves the correct way and possible way. Just because you made a little bit of profit don't mean you just go off and start buying clothes, buying shoes, whatever. No, this is why you have to be very, very careful, because money makes money. You don't want to waste money, because 400 could be turned into 600, to 700, 800, right? That is where you go and have the fun, when you get 25 to 30% back on your money. Right now, when you're just up 5-10% in the matter of 6 months, that is a bad investment in my opinion. As long as it's not a long-term hold, 5 to 6% back in 6-5 months is not what I aim for, right? And currently, AMD is one of those ones where I'm up 18%. And I've held this for 6 months, which is not bad. But I'm looking at 22 to 25% because I know what the stock can do. I know the intentions of the semiconductor industry. I know how powerful this can be. All right, thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. A little bit of overview for what to expect in July. I hope you guys liked the video. Like and subscribe. Mr. BuyTheDip is out.